Welcome to Serendipity. I'm Jeslyn Wheeless, one of the children's librarians at the Summit Free Public Library. The program today is entitled Hansel and Gretel, a play. It will be performed by 6 children. Hansel and Gretel is a very old folk tale handed down from generation to generation, most likely all the way back to the Middle Ages, the age of the knights in shining armor, a very long time ago. We are going to see the play, but first I thought, since it's a German folk tale, I would like to teach you a German song. And the German song is entitled The Happy Wanderer, but I always call it Valderie Valdera. So I'm going to teach you first the chorus. And if you really listen and try hard, you'll probably remember this for a really long time. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. Now we're going to learn it by call and response. I'll sing a line and then I'll point and you copy the line. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. Now let's don't do call and response. Let's just go straight through the chorus. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. I love to go wandering along the mountain track, and as I go, I like to feel my knapsack on my back. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. I love to wander by the stream that dances in the sun, so joyously it calls to me, come join the happy song. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. I wave my hand at all I meet, and they wave back to me. A blackbird calls so loud and sweet from every wooded tree. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. All right, now you've heard a German folk song, and soon we'll be watching the play Hansel and Gretel, based on a German folk tale. So since it's a rather short play, I'm going to tell you now a short story, a short German folk tale that is a lot of fun. Every summer I teach children to tell a story by memory without the book in the oral tradition. And that's the way I'm going to tell you this story now. If you listen really well, it's short and it has a lot of very silly repetition. So you may be able to tell it to someone yourself later on. Once there was a little girl who lived with her mother and father right on the edge of a deep, dark forest. Now one day her father was out cutting the hay and her mother was going to the market. So she told the little girl, "Now you can play in the house and you can play outside, but don't go in the forest. because the gunny wolf might catch you." And the little girl said, "No, Mama, I won't go in the forest." So her mother left, and the little girl played in the house for a while, and then she went outside and played outside for a while, and then she saw some pretty little pink flowers that were growing just inside the forest. She thought, "Oh, I could pick those and my mama would love them." So she started picking them inside the forest, and she sang, "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And then she spotted some beautiful purple flowers a little farther in the forest, and she walked over and picked them. "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And then she saw some lovely white flowers very far into the forest. She went over and picked them. "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And suddenly the old gunny wolf rose up, and he said, "Little girl, sing that guten sweeten song again." And the little girl sang, "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And the old gunny wolf nodded and nodded his head and fell fast asleep. So the little girl started to run as fast as ever she could. Pit, pat, pitty, pat, pit, pat, pitty, pat. But the old gunny wolf woke up and chased her. "Hungerja, hungerja, hungerja, hungerja." And he caught her. And he said, "Little girl, why for you move?" And she said, "I no move." He said, "Then sing that good and sweet and song again." She sang, "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And the old gunny wolf nodded and nodded his head, fell fast asleep. So the little girl started to run as fast as ever she could. Pit, pat, pitty, pat, pit, pat, pitty, pat. But the gunny wolf woke up and chased her. "Hungerja, hungerja, pit, pat, pitty, pat, hungerja, hungerja, pit, pat, pitty, pat, hungerja, hungerja." And he caught her. And he said, "Little girl, why for you move?" She said, "I no move." The gunny wolf said, "Then sing that guten sweeten song again." And she sang, "Kumquakiwa, kumquakiwa." And the old gunny wolf nodded and nodded his head and fell fast asleep. And the little girl started to run faster than ever. Pit, pat, pitty, pat, pit, pat, pitty, pat, pit, pat, pitty, pat. The gunny wolf woke up and chased her. "Hungerja, hungerja, hungerja, pit, pat, pitty, pat, pit, pat, pitty, pat, hungerja, hungerja, pit, pat, pitty, pat, hungerja, hungerja, pit, pat, pitty, pat, pit, pat, pitty, pat," until she ran out of the forest and all the way to her home. And that little girl never went into the forest again. Now, you've heard a German folk song, which I hope you'll remember, Valderie Valdera, and you've heard a silly German folk tale, The Gunny Wolf. Now we're ready for our play, Hansel and Gretel. The way I got the idea for doing this play is I was remembering many years ago that my mother performed with children an operetta of Hansel and Gretel. And I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I went over to the elementary school to a couple of the rehearsals and enjoyed them very much, and strangely remembered all 3 of the main songs, which you're going to hear today in our play. And I always remembered that. Now, the operetta that my mother performed with these children in the school where she taught, the operetta came from an actual opera entitled Hansel and Gretel by the famous composer Engelbert Humperdinck. He was inspired to write the opera by his sister Adelaide Weist, who sang for him some of the songs she had created for her children for a Christmas present. He liked them so much that the 2 of them got together and wrote an entire opera. He wrote all the music and she wrote all the words. She was the librettist. And they came out with a delightful opera, which we are now going to just act out the play 3 children are going to sing songs from the opera, and I'm going to play recordings of other parts of the opera. Once upon a time, long, long ago and far away, a poor woodcutter lived in a small cottage with his wife and his 2 children, Hansel and Gretel.
I must go now to the village. Now try sell the brooms I've made.
Oh, I hope he can sell the brooms and bring back some food. All we have is this pitcher of milk. Now, Hansel and Gretel, I must go to help our neighbor, who is sick. While I'm gone, you must work hard on your chores. Hansel, you must scrub the floor, and Gretel, you must clean the kitchen.
The children got busy and they worked for a while, and I'm sure all the actors are going to talk very nice and loud and slowly. The children worked for a while, but then they wanted to play. They started chasing each other around.
You can't catch me, Hansel! I'm gonna catch you.
Were they supposed to be doing that? No. They decided to do a little dance.
Brother, come and dance with me. Both my hands I offer thee. Right foot first, left foot then. Turn around and back again.
I would dance but don't know how. When to clap and when to bow. Show me what I ought to do, so that I may dance with you.
With your feet you tap, tap, tap. With your hands you clap, clap, clap. Right foot first, left foot then. Round about and back again.
With my feet go tap, tap, tap. With my hands go clap, clap, clap. Right foot first, left foot then. Round about and back again.
Now they started chasing each other again after they danced, and something bad happened.
I can catch you, Hansel. What will Mother say? That was all we had left.
Mother came home.
Hansel and Gretel, naughty children, look what you've done. Now we don't have any milk or anything else to eat. Here, take this basket and go into the forest to pick strawberries. Okay.
And so the 2 children began picking strawberries, and without realizing it, they went deeper and deeper into the forest. Meanwhile, Father returned looking very happy.
I have sold all the brooms and brought some food. Now where are Hansel and Gretel?
They were naughty and spilled all the milk, so I sent them into the forest to pick strawberries.
But there's an evil witch in the forest who might catch them.
Oh no, let's go find them.
So Mother and Father were looking for Hansel and Gretel. But by this time, the children had wandered far into the forest. It was getting so dark. The parents had to give up and go home. They were very sad. Meanwhile, Gretel had nearly filled the basket with strawberries and had put flowers in her hair.
Look, Hansel, I'm queen of the forest.
Then the children heard a fairy singing a mysterious song.
There was a little man standing in the woods. He wore a purple coat with a small black hood. Tell me who this man could be, standing there so silently, with his purple coat and a small black hood. That was it.
Then the children began to get very scared because it was getting dark.
That was a very beautiful song the fairy sang. But it's getting dark now. I'm scared.
I'm scared too, but let's remember the prayer Mother always used to sing to us about the angels.
something that amazed them. It was a house made out of gingerbread trimmed with icing.
Look, Hansel! A gingerbread house! It must be a fairy's house. Let's eat it. Yes! It's delicious! Nibble, nibble, little mouse. Who's that nibbling at my house?
The children were horrified when an old witch came walking out of the house. They screamed and tried to run away. But the witch cast a spell on them so that they could not move. She put Hansel into a cage so that she could fatten him up with sweets and bake him into a gingerbread cookie. Hansel ate the sweets, but he was very worried. The witch made Gretel work hard cleaning the house.
I think your brother is fat enough now. He's eaten quite a lot of cookies. It's time to bake him into a big gingerbread cookie. Gretel, go inside and light the oven so it starts heating up.
Ugh! I don't know how to do that. It's too hard for me. Please show me how to do it.
Ugh, foolish girl. See, I'm opening the oven, I'm lighting it, and I'm bending over to put in more wood.
Quick, Gretel, push the old witch in the oven and close the door.
Ah!
And so Gretel did as her brother told her to do, and the witch began to bake into an enormous, ugly gingerbread cookie. Gretel let Hansel out of the cage, and they danced around happily. At that moment, all the gingerbread cookies turned back into children as they were before, and everybody was so happy. Suddenly, there were father and mother who had finally found their children at last.
Hansel and Gretel, thank goodness you're safe.
But where's the witch?
She's in the oven. Probably done by now. Let's see. Yes! Look, everybody! The old witch has baked into such a huge, fat gingerbread cookie. She burst open the oven door, and there the ugly cookie is on the cottage floor. Ew! Ugly gingerbread cookie. Ew! Ew!
Then Hansel went into the witch's house and quickly came back out.
Look, father and mother, here's a chest full of gold I found in the witch's house. Now we'll never go hungry again.
And Hansel and Gretel was healthy and happily, and the best kids in the whole world.
And so Hansel, Gretel, father and mother went home to their house and lived happily ever after. Where's Abby? Everybody. Abby was the witch.
Hello.
Jack was Hansel.
Hi.
Serena was Gretel.
Hello.
Julia was the mother.
I'm
Fabian the father.
Hi.
And Emma was the forest fairy. So that we can start making the gingerbread houses, what we're going to need to do. I hope you've enjoyed our play. And next week for Serendipity, we're doing a play called A Very Marley Christmas, which is the title of a picture book about Marley, the yellow lab, the dog who was always getting into mischief. You will enjoy this story immensely because when people are wrapping presents and decorating a tree and getting ready for Christmas, a young dog can get into a lot of mischief. I'm going to tell another story after that about a young man walking home on Christmas Eve. His candle and his lantern burned out, so he went into a candle store and bought a new candle from a strange man. And when he put that in his lantern, something magical happened. So for our craft, we'll make our own magical candles. See you next time.